The Project Gutenberg ebook of A Child's Garden of Verses. This ebook is for the use of anyone anywhere in the United States and most other parts of the world at no cost and with almost no restrictions whatsoever. You may copy it, give it away or reuse it under the terms of the Project Gutenberg license included with this ebook or online at www.gutenberg.org. If you are not located in the United States, you will have to check the laws of the country where you are located before using this ebook. Title: A Child's Garden of Verses. Author: Robert Louis Stevenson. Illustrator: Jesse Wilcox Smith. Release date: May 26, 2008. Ebook number 25609. Most recently updated, August 8, 2019. Language: English. Credits: produced by Juliet Sutherland, Christine D. and the online distributed proofreading team at http://www.pgdp.net. Start of the Project Gutenberg ebook A Child's Garden of Verses. There are several editions of this ebook in the Project Gutenberg collection. Various characteristics of each ebook are listed to aid in selecting the preferred file. Click on any of the file numbers below to quickly view each ebook. 19722, published in 1916, black and white illustrations by M. Sheldon. 25608, published in 1905, single tone illustrations by B. C. Pease. 25609, published in 1905, illustrations in color by J. W. Smith. 25610, published in 1895, black and white illustrations by C. Robbins. 25611, publication date unknown, black and white illustrations. 25617, published in 1900, illustrations in color by Mars and Squire. 28722, published in 1919, illustrations in color by Maria L. Kirk, A Child's Garden of Verses. Robert Louis Stevenson. Illustrated by Jesse Wilcox Smith. Charles Scribner's Sons, New York. Copyright, 1905, by Charles Scribner's Sons. Printed in the United States of America. All rights reserved. No part of this book may be reproduced in any form without the permission of Charles Scribner's Sons. DD 3.64H. Reset March 1955. To Allison Cunningham from her boy. For the long nights you lay awake and watched for my unworthy sake, for your most comfortable hand that led me through the uneven land, for all the storybooks you read, for all the pains you comforted, for all you pitied, all you bore, in sad and happy days of your my second mother, my first wife, the angel of my infant life. From the sick child, now well and old, take, nurse, the little book you hold. And grant it, heaven, that all who read may find as dear a nurse at need, and every child who lists my rhyme, in the bright, fireside, nursery clime, may hear it in as kind a voice as made my childish days rejoice. RLS. The original title page for A Child's Garden of Verses by Jesse Wilcox Smith. A Child's Garden of Verses. Robert Louis Stevenson with illustrations by Jesse Wilcox Smith. Charles Scribner's Sons, New York. MCMV. Contents. To Allison Cunningham. May I bed in summer 3 a thought 4 at the seaside 5 young night thought 6 whole duty of children 7 rain 7 pirate story 8 foreign lands 9 windy nights 10 travel 11 singing 13 looking forward 14 a good play 15 where go the boats, 16 auntie's skirt 17 the land of counterpane 18 the land of nod 19 my shadow 20 system 22 a good boy 23 escape at bedtime 24 marching song 25 the cow 26 happy thought 27 the wine 28 keepsake mill 29 good and bad children 31 foreign children 33 the sun travels 35 the lamplighter 36 my bed is a boat 37 the moon 39 the swing 40 time to rise 41 looking glass river 42 fairy bread 44 from a railway carriage 45 winter time 46 the hayloft 47 farewell to the farm 49 northwest passage 51 good night 52 Shadow March 51-3. In Port 52 The Child Alone The Unseen Playmate 57 My Ship and I 59 My Kingdom 61 Picture Books in Winter 63 My Treasures 65 Block City 67 The Land of Storybooks 69 Armies in the Fire 71 The Little Land 73 Garden Days Night and Day 79 Nest Eggs 82 The Flowers 84 Summer Sun 86 The Dumb Soldier 87 Autumn Fires 89 The Gardener 90 Historical Associations 92 Envoys to Willie and Henrietta 97 To My Mother 98 To Auntie 99 To Minnie 100 To My Name Child 103 To Any Reader 105 Illustrations from Drawings in Color by Jesse Wilcox Smith Facing Page Bed in Summer 4 In Winter I Get Up at Night and Dress by Yellow Candlelight Foreign Lands 10 I held the trunk with both my hands and looked abroad on foreign lands. The land of counterpane 18 I was the giant great and still that sits upon the pillow hill, my shadow 20 He stays so close beside me, he's a coward you can see, I'd think shame to stick to Nurshi as that shadow sticks to me. Foreign children 34 Little Indian, Sioux, or Crow, Little Frosty Eskimo, Little Turk, or Japanese, oh. Don't you wish that you were me? Looking Glass River 42 We can see our colored faces floating on the shaken pool The Hayloft 48 Oh, what a joy to clamber there, oh, what a place for play, with the sweet, the dim, the dusty air, the happy hills of hay. Northwest Passage 50 And face with an undaunted tread the long black passage up to bed. Picture Books in Winter 64 Water now is turned to stone Nurse and I can walk upon, still we find the flowing brooks in the picture storybooks. The Little Land 74 I have just to shut my eyes to go sailing through the skies to go sailing far away to the pleasant land of play, the Flowers 84 All the names I know from Nurse, Gardener's Garters, Shepherd's Purse, Bachelor's Buttons, Lady's Smock and the Lady Hollyhock. To Auntie 100 What did the other children do? And what were childhood, wanting you? A Child's Garden of Verses Bed in Summer In Winter I Get Up at Night and Dress by Yellow Candlelight. In summer, quite the other way, I have to go to bed by day. I have to go to bed and see the birds still hopping on the tree, or hear the grown-up people's feet still going past me in the street. And does it not seem hard to you, when all the sky is clear and blue, and I should like so much to play, to have to go to bed by day? Mary Hans A. thought it is very nice to think the world is full of meat and drink, with little children saying grace in every Christian kind of place. Biddy fine bed in summer at the seaside when I was down beside the sea a wooden spade they gave to me to dig the sandy shore. My holes were empty like a cup. In every hole the sea came up, till it could come no more. Young Night thought all night long and every night, when my mama puts out the light, I see the people marching by, as plain as day, before my eye. Armies and emperors and kings, all carrying different kinds of things, and marching in so grand a way, you never saw the like by day. So fine a show was never seen at the great circus on the green, for every kind of beast and man is marching in that caravan. At first they move a little slow, but still the faster on they go, and still beside them close I keep until we reach the town of sleep. Whole duty of children A child should always say what's true and speak when he is spoken to, and behave mannerly at table, at least as far as he is able. Rain The rain is raining all around, it falls on field and tree, it rains on the umbrellas here, and on the ships at sea. Pirate story 3 of us afloat in the meadow by the swing, 3 of us aboard in the basket on the lee. Winds are in the air, they are blowing in the spring, and waves are on the meadow like the waves there are at sea. Where shall we adventure, today that we're afloat, wary of the weather and steering by a star? Shall it be to Africa, a steering of the boat, to Providence, or Babylon, or off to Malabar? Hi! But here's a squadron A rowing on the sea, cattle on the meadow A charging with a roar. Quick, and we'll escape them, they're as mad as they can be, the wicket is the harbor and the garden is the shore. Foreign lands up into the cherry tree who should climb but little me? I held the trunk with both my hands and looked abroad on foreign lands. I saw the next door garden lie, adorned with flowers, before my eye, and many pleasant places more that I had never seen before. I saw the dimpling river pass and be the sky's blue looking glass, the dusty roads go up and down with people tramping into town. If I could find a higher tree farther and farther I should see, to where the grown-up river slips into the sea among the ships, to where the roads on either hand lead onward into fairyland, where all the children dine at 5, and all the playthings come alive. Windy nights whenever the moon and stars are set, whenever the wind is high, all night long in the dark and wet, a man goes riding by. Late in the night when the fires are out, why does he gallop and gallop about? Whenever the trees are crying aloud, and ships are tossed at sea, by, on the highway, low and loud, by at the gallop goes he. By at the gallop he goes, and then by he comes back at the gallop again. Foreign lands travel I should like to rise and go where the golden apples grow, where below another sky-parrot islands anchored lie, and, watched by cockatoos and goats, lonely Crusoes building boats, where in sunshine reaching out eastern cities, miles about, are with mosque and minaret among sandy gardens set, and the rich goods from near and far hang for sale in the bazaar, where the great wall round China goes, and on one side the desert blows, and with bell and voice and drum, cities on the other hum, where are forests, hot as fire, wide as England, tall as a spire, full of apes and cocoa-nuts and the Negro hunters' huts, where the naughty crocodile lies and blinks in the Nile, and the red flamingo flies hunting fish before his eyes, where in jungles, near and far, man-devouring tigers are lying close and giving ear lest the hunt be drawing near, or a comer be seen swinging in a palanquin, where among the desert sands some deserted city stands, all its children, sweep and prince, grown to manhood ages since, not a foot in street or house, not a stir of child or mouse, and when kindly falls the night, in all the town no spark of light. There I'll come when I'm a man with a camel caravan, light a fire in the gloom of some dusty dining room, see the pictures on the walls, heroes, fights, and festivals, and in a corner find the toys of the old Egyptian boys. Singing of speckled eggs the birdie sings and nests among the trees, the sailor sings of ropes and things in ships upon the seas. The children sing in far Japan, the children sing in Spain, the organ with the organ man is singing in the rain. Looking forward when I am grown to man's estate I shall be very proud and great, and tell the other girls and boys not to meddle with my toys. A good play we built a ship upon the stairs all made of the back bedroom chairs, and filled it full of sofa pillows to go a-sailing on the billows. We took a saw and several nails, and water in the nursery pails, and Tom said, "Let us also take an apple and a slice of cake," which was enough for Tom and me to go a-sailing on, till tea. We sailed along for days and days and had the very best of plays, but Tom fell out and hurt his knee, so there was no one left but me. Where go the boats? Dark brown is the river, golden is the sand. It flows along forever, with trees on either hand. Green leaves a-floating, castles of the foam, boats of mine a-boating where will all come home? On goes the river and out past the mill, away down the valley, away down the hill. Away down the river, 100 miles or more, other little children shall bring my boats ashore. Auntie's skirts whenever Auntie moves around, her dresses make a curious sound, they trail behind her up the floor, and trundle after through the door. The land of counterpane when I was sick and lay abed, I had 2 pillows at my head, and all my toys beside me lay to keep me happy all the day. And sometimes for an hour or so I watched my leaden soldiers go, with different uniforms and drills, among the bedclothes, through the hills, and sometimes sent my ships in fleets all up and down among the sheets, or brought my trees and houses out, and planted cities all about. I was the giant great and still that sits upon the pillow hill, and sees before him, dale and plain, the pleasant land of counterpane. The land of counterpane, the land of nod, from breakfast on through all the day at home among my friends I stay, but every night I go abroad afar into the land of nod. All by myself I have to go, with none to tell me what to do, all alone beside the streams and up the mountain sides of dreams. The strangest things are there for me, both things to eat and things to see, and many frightening sights abroad till morning in the land of nod. Try as I like to find the way, I never can get back by day, nor can remember plain and clear the curious music that I hear. My shadow, I have a little shadow that goes in and out with me, and what can be the use of him is more than I can see. He is very, very like me from the heels up to the head, and I see him jump before me, when I jump into my bed. The funniest thing about him is the way he likes to grow, not at all like proper children, which is always very slow, for he sometimes shoots up taller like an India rubber ball, and he sometimes gets so little that there's none of him at all. He hasn't got a notion of how children ought to play, and can only make a fool of me in every sort of way. He stays so close beside me, he's a coward, you can see. I'd think shame to stick to nursie as that shadow sticks to me. My shadow, one morning, very early, before the sun was up, I rose and found the shining dew on every buttercup, but my lazy little shadow, like an errant sleepy head, had stayed at home behind me and was fast asleep in bed. System, every night my prayers I say, and get my dinner every day, and every day that I been good, I get an orange after food. The child that is not clean and neat, with lots of toys and things to eat, he is a naughty child, I'm sure, or else his dear papa is poor. A good boy, I woke before the morning, I was happy all the day, I never said an ugly word, but smiled and stuck to play. And now at last the sun is going down behind the wood, and I am very happy, for I know that I been good. My bed is waiting cool and fresh, with linen smooth and fair, and I must be off to sleepsin by, and not forget my prayer. I know that, till tomorrow I shall see the sun arise, no ugly dream shall fright my mind, no ugly sight my eyes. But slumber hold me tightly till I waken in the dawn, and hear the thrushes singing in the lilacs round the lawn. Escape at bedtime the lights from the parlor and kitchen shone out through the blinds and the windows and bars, and high overhead and all moving about, there were thousands of millions of stars. There ne'er were such thousands of leaves on a tree, nor of people in church or the park, as the crowds of the stars that looked down upon me, and that glittered and winked in the dark. The dog, and the plough, and the hunter, and all, and the star of the sailor, and Mars, these shone in the sky, and the pail by the wall would be half full of water and stars. They saw me at last, and they chased me with cries, and they soon had me packed into bed, but the glory kept shining and bright in my eyes, and the stars going round in my head. Marching song, bring the comb and play upon it. Marching, here we come. Willie cocks his Highland bonnet, Johnny beats the drum. Mary Jane commands the party, Peter leads the rear, feet in time, alert and hearty, each a grenadier. All in the most martial manner marching double quick, while the napkin, like a banner, waves upon the stick. Here's enough of fame and pillage, great Commander Jane. Now that we been round the village, let's go home again. The cow, the friendly cow, all red and white, I love with all my heart, she gives me cream with all her might, to eat with apple tart. She wanders lowing here and there, and yet she cannot stray, all in the pleasant open air, the pleasant light of day, and blown by all the winds that pass and wet with all the showers, she walks among the meadow grass and eats the meadow flowers. Happy thought, the world is so full of a number of things, I'm sure we should all be as happy as kings. The wind, I saw you toss the kites on high and blow the birds about the sky, and all around I heard you pass, like ladies' skirts across the grass. O wind, a blowing all day long, O wind, that sings so loud a song. I saw the different things you did, but always you yourself you hid. I felt you push, I heard you call, I could not see yourself at all. O wind, a blowing all day long, O wind, that sings so loud a song. O you that are so strong and cold, O blower, are you young or old? Are you a beast of field and tree, or just a stronger child than me? O wind, a blowing all day long, O wind, that sings so loud a song. Keepsake mill over the borders, a sin without pardon, breaking the branches and crawling below, out through the breach in the wall of the garden, down by the banks of the river, we go. Here is the mill with the humming of thunder, here is the weir with the wonder of foam, here is the sluice with the race running under marvelous places, though handy to home. Sounds of the village grow stiller and stiller, stiller the note of the birds on the hill, dusty and dim are the eyes of the miller, deaf are his ears with the moil of the mill. Years may go by, and the wheel in the river will, as it wheels for us, children, today, will and keep roaring and foaming forever, long after all of the boys are away. Home from the Indies and home from the ocean, heroes and soldiers, we all shall come home, still we shall find the old mill wheel in motion, turning and churning that river to foam. You with the bean that I gave when we quarreled, I with your marble of Saturday last, honored and old and all gaily apparelled, here we shall meet and remember the past. Good and bad children, children, you are very little, and your bones are very brittle, if you would grow great and stately, you must try to walk sedately. You must still be bright and quiet, and content with simple diet, and remain, through all bewildering, innocent and honest children. Happy hearts and happy faces, happy play in grassy places, that was how, in ancient ages, children grew to kings and sages. But the unkind and the unruly, and the sort who eat unduly, they must never hope for glory, theirs is quite a different story. Cruel children, crying babies, all grew up as geese and gabbies, hated, as their age increases, by their nephews and their nieces. Foreign children, little Indian, Sioux or Crow, little frosty Eskimo, little Turk or Japanese, oh, don't you wish that you were me? You have seen the scarlet trees and the lions overseas, you have eaten ostrich eggs, and turned the turtles off their legs. Such a life is very fine, but it's not so nice as mine, you must often, as you trod, have wearied not to be abroad. You have curious things to eat, I am fed on proper meat, you must dwell beyond the foam, but I am safe and live at home. Little Indian, Sioux or Crow, little frosty Eskimo, little Turk or Japanese, oh, don't you wish that you were me? Foreign children, the sun travels, the sun is not a bed, when I at night upon my pillow lie, still round the earth his way he takes, and morning after morning makes. While here at home, in shining day, we round the sunny garden play, each little Indian sleepy head is being kissed and put to bed. And when at eve I rise from tea, day dawns beyond the Atlantic Sea, and all the children in the west are getting up and being dressed. The lamplighter, my tea is nearly ready and the sun has left the sky. It's time to take the window to see Leary going by, for every night at tea time and before you take your seat, with lantern and with ladder he comes posting up the street. Now Tom would be a driver and Maria go to sea, and my papa's a banker and as rich as he can be, but I, when I am stronger and can choose what I'm to do, oh Leary, I'll go round at night and light the lamps with you. For we are very lucky, with a lamp before the door, and Leary stops to light it as he lights so many more, and oh, Before you hurry by with ladder and with light, O'Leary, see a little child and nod to him tonight. My bed is a boat, my bed is like a little boat, nurse helps me in when I embark, she girds me in my sailor's coat and starts me in the dark. At night, I go on board and say good night to all my friends on shore, I shut my eyes and sail away and see and hear no more. And sometimes things to bed I take, as prudent sailors have to do, perhaps a slice of wedding cake, perhaps a toy or two. All night across the dark we steer, but when the day returns at last, safe in my room, beside the pier, I find my vessel fast. The moon has a face like the clock in the hall, she shines on thieves on the garden wall, on streets and field and harbor quays, and birdies asleep in the forks of the trees. The squalling cat and the squeaking mouse, the howling dog by the door of the house, the bat that lies in bed at noon, all love to be out by the light of the moon. But all of the things that belong to the day cuddle to sleep to be out of her way, and flowers and children close their eyes till up in the morning the sun shall arise. The swing, how do you like to go up in a swing, up in the air so blue? Oh, I do think it the pleasantest thing ever a child can do. Up in the air and over the wall, till I can see so wide, rivers and trees and cattle and all over the countryside till I look down on the garden green, down on the roof so brown, up in the air I go flying again, up in the air and down. Time to rise, a birdie with a yellow bill hopped upon the window sill, cocked his shining eye and said, "Ain't you shamed, you sleepy head?" Looking glass river smooth it glides upon its travel, here a wimple, there a gleam o' the clean gravel. Oh, the smooth stream! Sailing blossoms, silver fishes, paven pools as clear as air, how a child wishes to live down there. We can see our colored faces floating on the shaken pool down in cool places, dim and very cool, till a wind or water wrinkle, dipping martin, plumping trout, spreads in a twinkle and blots all out. See the rings pursue each other, all below grows black as night, just as if mother had blown out the light. Patience, children, just a minute, see the spreading circles die, the stream and all in it will clear by and by. Fairy bread, come up here, O dusty feet. Here is fairy bread to eat. Here in my retiring room, children, you may dine on the golden smell of broom and the shade of pine, and when you have eaten well, fairy stories hear and tell. From a railway carriage faster than fairies, faster than witches, bridges and houses, hedges and ditches, and charging along like troops in a battle all through the meadows the horses and cattle, all of the sights of the hill and the plain fly as thick as driving rain, and ever again, in the wink of an eye, painted stations whistle by. Here is a child who clambers and scrambles, all by himself and gathering brambles, here is a tramp who stands and gazes, and there is the green for stringing the daisies, here is a cart run away in the road lumping along with man and load, and here is a mill, and there is a river, each a glimpse and gone forever. Winter time late lies the wintry sun abed, a frosty, fiery sleepy head, blinks but an hour or two, and then, a blood-red orange, sets again. Before the stars have left the skies, at morning in the dark I rise, and shivering in my nakedness, by the cold candle, bathe and dress. Close by the jolly fire I sit to warm my frozen bones a bit, or with the reindeer sled, explore the colder countries round the door. When to go out, my nurse doth wrap me in my comforter and cap, the cold wind burns my face, and blows its frosty pepper up my nose. Black are my steps on silver sod, thick blows my frosty breath abroad, and tree and house and hill and lake, are frosted like a wedding cake. The hayloft through all the pleasant meadow side the grass grew shoulder high, till the shining scythes went far and wide and cut it down to dry. Those green and sweetly smelling crops they led in wagons home, and they piled them here in mountain tops for mountaineers to roam. Here is Mount Clear, Mount Rusty Nail, Mount Eagle and Mount High, the mice that in these mountains dwell, no happier are than I. Oh, what a joy to clamber there, oh, what a place for play, with the sweet, the dim, the dusty air, the happy hills of hay. The hayloft farewell to the farm, the coach is at the door at last, the eager children, mounting fast and kissing hands, in chorus sing, goodbye, goodbye, to everything. To house and garden, field and lawn, the meadow gates we swung upon, to pump and stable, tree and swing, goodbye, goodbye, to everything. And fare you well for evermore, O ladder at the hayloft door, O hayloft where the cobwebs cling, goodbye, goodbye, to everything. Crack goes the whip, and off we go, the trees and houses smaller grow, last, round the woody turn we swing, goodbye, goodbye, to everything. Northwest Passage 1. Good night when the bright lamp is carried in, the sunless hours again begin, o'er all without, in field and lane, the haunted night returns again. Now we behold the embers flee about the firelit hearth, and see our faces painted as we pass, like pictures, on the window glass. Must we to bed indeed? Well then, let us arise and go like men, and face with an undaunted tread the long black passage up to bed. Northwest Passage farewell, O brother, sister, sire. O pleasant party round the fire. The songs you sing, the tales you tell, till far tomorrow, fare ye well. To shadow march all round the house is the jet black night, it stares through the window pane, it crawls in the corners, hiding from the light, and it moves with the moving flame. Now my little heart goes a-beating like a drum, with the breath of the bogey in my hair, and all round the candle the crooked shadows come, and go marching along up the stair. The shadow of the balusters, the shadow of the lamp, the shadow of the child that goes to bed, all the wicked shadows coming, tramp, 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 with the black night overhead. 3 in port last, to the chamber where I lie my fearful footsteps patter nigh, and come from out the cold and gloom into my warm and cheerful room. There, safe arrived, we turn about to keep the coming shadows out, and close the happy door at last on all the perils that we passed. Then, when Mamma goes by to bed, she shall come in with tiptoe tread, and see me lying warm and fast and in the land of Nod at last. The child alone, the unseen playmate, when children are playing alone on the green, in comes the playmate that never was seen. When children are happy and lonely and good, the friend of the children comes out of the wood. Nobody heard him and nobody saw, his is a picture you never could draw, but he's sure to be present, abroad or at home, when children are happy and playing alone. He lies in the laurels, he runs on the grass, he sings when you tinkle the musical glass, whene'er you are happy and cannot tell why, the friend of the children is sure to be by. He loves to be little, he hates to be big, 'tis he that inhabits the caves that you dig, 'tis he when you play with your soldiers of tin that sides with the Frenchmen and never can win. 'Tis he, when at night you go off to your bed, bids you go to your sleep and not trouble your head, for wherever they're lying, in cupboard or shelf, 'tis he will take care of your playthings himself. My ship and I, oh it's I that am the captain of a tidy little ship, of a ship that goes a-sailing on the pond, and my ship it keeps a-turning all around and all about, but when I'm a little older, I shall find the secret out how to send my vessel sailing on beyond. For I mean to grow as little as the dolly at the helm, and the dolly I intend to come alive, and with him beside to help me, it's a-sailing I shall go, it's a-sailing on the water, when the jolly breezes blow and the vessel goes a divvy-divvy dive. Oh it's then you'll see me sailing through the rushes and the reeds, and you'll hear the water singing at the prow, for beside the dolly sailor, I'm to voyage and explore, to land upon the island where no dolly was before, and to fire the penny cannon in the bow. My kingdom down by a shining water well I found a very little dell, no higher than my head. The heather and the gorse about in summer bloom were coming out, some yellow and some red. I called the little pool a sea, the little hills were big to me, for I am very small. I made a boat, I made a town, I searched the caverns up and down, and named them one and all. And all about was mine, I said, the little sparrows overhead, the little minnows too. This was the world and I was king, for me the bees came by to sing, for me the swallows flew. I played there were no deeper seas, nor any wider plains than these, nor other kings than me. At last I heard my mother call out from the house at evenfall, to call me home to tea. And I must rise and leave my dell, and leave my dimpled water well, and leave my heather blooms. Alas! And as my home I neared, how very big my nurse appeared. How great and cool the rooms! Picture books in winter, summer fading, winter comes, frosty mornings, tingling thumbs, window robins, winter rooks, and the picture story books. Water now is turned to stone, nurse, and I can walk upon, still we find the flowing brooks in the picture story books. All the pretty things put by, wait upon the children's eye, sheep and shepherds, trees and crooks, in the picture story books. We may see how all things are, seas and cities, near and far, and the flying fairies' looks, in the picture story books. How am I to sing your praise, happy chimney corner days, sitting safe in nursery nooks, reading picture story books. Picture books in winter, my treasures, these nuts, that I keep in the back of the nest where all my lead soldiers are lying at rest, were gathered in autumn by Nursey and me in a wood with a well by the side of the sea. This whistle we made, and how clearly it sounds! By the side of a field at the end of the grounds. Of a branch of a plane, with a knife of my own, it was Nursey who made it, and Nursey alone. The stone, with the white and the yellow and grey, we discovered I cannot tell how far away, and I carried it back although weary and cold, for though father denies it, I'm sure it is gold. But of all my treasures the last is the king, for there's very few children possess such a thing, and that is a chisel, both handle and blade, which a man who was really a carpenter made. Block City, what are you able to build with your blocks? Castles and palaces, temples and docks. Rain may keep raining, and others go roam, but I can be happy and building at home. Let the sofa be mountains, the carpet be sea, there I'll establish a city for me, a kirk and a mill and a palace beside, and a harbor as well where my vessels may ride. Great is the palace with pillar and wall, a sort of a tower on the top of it all, and steps coming down in an orderly way to where my toy vessels lie safe in the bay. This one is sailing and that one is moored, hark to the song of the sailors on board. And see, on the steps of my palace, the kings coming and going with presents and things. Now I have done with it, down let it go. All in a moment the town is laid low. Block upon block lying scattered and free, what is there left of my town by the sea? Yet as I saw it, I see it again, the kirk and the palace, the ships and the men, and as long as I live and where'er I may be, I'll always remember my town by the sea. The land of storybooks at evening when the lamp is lit, around the fire my parents sit, they sit at home and talk and sing, and do not play at anything. Now, with my little gun, I crawl all in the dark along the wall, and follow round the forest track away behind the sofa back. There, in the night, where none can spy, all in my hunter's camp I lie, and play at books that I have read till it is time to go to bed. These are the hills, these are the woods, these are my starry solitudes, and there the river by whose brink the roaring lions come to drink. I see the others far away as if in fire-lit camp they lay, and I, like to an Indian scout, around their party prowled about. So, when my nurse comes in for me, home I return across the sea, and go to bed with backward looks at my dear land of storybooks. Armies in the fire, the lamps now glitter down the street, faintly sound the falling feet, and the blue even slowly falls about the garden trees and walls. Now in the falling of the gloom the red fire paints the empty room, and warmly on the roof it looks, and flickers on the backs of books. Armies march by tower and spire of cities blazing, in the fire, till as I gaze with staring eyes, the armies fade, the luster dies. Then once again the glow returns, again the phantom city burns, and down the red-hot valley, lo! The phantom armies marching go. Blinking embers, tell me true, where are those armies marching to, and what the burning city is that crumbles in your furnaces? The little land when at home alone I sit, and am very tired of it, I have just to shut my eyes to go sailing through the skies, to go sailing far away to the pleasant land of play, to the fairy land afar where the little people are, where the clover tops are trees, and the rain pools are the seas, and the leaves, like little ships, sail about on tiny trips, and above the daisy tree through the grasses, high o'erhead the bumblebee hums and passes. In that forest to and fro I can wander, I can go, see the spider and the fly, and the ants go marching by, carrying parcels with their feet down the green and grassy street. I can in the sorrel sit where the ladybird alit. I can climb the jointed grass and on high see the greater swallows pass in the sky, and the round sun rolling by heeding no such things as I. Through that forest I can pass till, as in a looking glass, humming fly and daisy tree and my tiny self I see, painted very clear and neat on the rain pool at my feet. Should a leaflet come to land drifting near to where I stand, straight I'll board that tiny boat round the rain pool sea to float. Little thoughtful creatures sit on the grassy coasts of it, little things with lovely eyes see me sailing with surprise. Some are clad in armor green, these have sure to battle been. Some are pied with every hue, black and crimson, gold and blue, some have wings and swift are gone, but they all look kindly on the little land when my eyes I once again open, and see all things plain, high bare walls, great bare floor, great big knobs on drawer and door, great big people perched on chairs, stitching tucks and mending tears, each a hill that I could climb, and talking nonsense all the time. Oh dear me, that I could be a sailor on the rainpool sea, a climber in the clover tree, and just come back, a sleepyhead, late at night to go to bed. Garden days night and day when the golden day is done, through the closing portal, child and garden, flower and sun, vanish all things mortal. As the blinding shadows fall, as the rays diminish, under evening's cloak, they all roll away and vanish. Garden darkened, daisy shut, child in bed, they slumber, glowworm in the highway rut, mice among the lumber. In the darkness houses shine, parents move with candles, till on all, the night divine turns the bedroom handles. Till at last the day begins in the east, a breaking, in the hedges and the wind sleeping birds a waking. In the darkness shapes of things, houses, trees, and hedges, clearer grow, and sparrows' wings beat on window ledges. These shall wake the yawning maid, she the door shall open, finding dew on garden glade and the morning broken. There my garden grows again green and rosy painted, as at eve behind the pane from my eyes it fainted. Just as it was shut away, toy-like, in the even, here I see it glow with day under glowing heaven. Every path and every plot, every bush of roses, every blue forget-me-not where the dew reposes. Up, they cry, the day is come on the smiling valleys, we have beat the morning drum, playmate, join your allies. Nest eggs birds all the sunny day flutter and quarrel here in the arbor-like tent of the laurel. Here in the fork the brown nest is seated, 4 little blue eggs the mother keeps heated. While we stand watching her staring like gabbies, safe in each egg are the bird's little babies. Soon the frail eggs they shall chip, and upspringing make all the April woods merry with singing. Younger than we are, O children, and friendlier, soon in blue air they'll be, singer and sailor. We, so much older, taller, and stronger, we shall look down on the birdies no longer. They shall go flying with musical speeches high overhead in the tops of the beeches. In spite of our wisdom and sensible talking, we on our feet must go plodding and walking. The flowers all the names I know from nurse, gardener's garters, shepherd's purse, bachelor's buttons, lady's smock, and the lady hollyhock. Fairy places, fairy things, fairy woods where the wild bee wings, tiny trees for tiny dames, these must all be fairy names. Tiny woods below whose boughs shady fairies weave a house, tiny tree tops, rose or thyme, where the braver fairies climb. The flowers fair are grown-up people's trees, but the fairest woods are these, where, if I were not so tall, I should live for good and all. Summer sun great is the sun, and wide he goes through empty heaven without repose, and in the blue and glowing days more thick than rain he showers his rays. Though closer still the blinds we pull to keep the shady parlor cool, yet he will find a chink or two to slip his golden fingers through. The dusty attic spider clad he, through the keyhole, maketh glad, and through the broken edge of tiles into the laddered hayloft smiles. Meantime his golden face around he bears to all the garden ground, and sheds a warm and glittering look among the ivy's inmost nook. Above the hills, along the blue, round the bright air with footing true, to please the child, to paint the rose, the gardener of the world, he goes. The dumb soldier when the grass was closely mown, walking on the lawn alone, in the turf a hole I found, and hid a soldier underground. Spring and daisies came apace, grasses hide my hiding place, grasses run like a green sea o'er the lawn up to my knee. Under grass alone he lies, looking up with leaden eyes, scarlet coat and pointed gun, to the stars and to the sun. When the grass is ripe like grain, when the scythe is stoned again, when the lawn is shaven clear, then my hole shall reappear. I shall find him, never fear, I shall find my grenadier, but for all that's gone and come, I shall find my soldier dumb. He has lived, a little thing, in the grassy woods of spring, done, if he could tell me true, just as I should like to do. He has seen the starry hours and the springing of the flowers, and the fairy things that pass in the forests of the grass. In the silence he has heard talking bee and ladybird, and the butterfly has flown o'er him as he lay alone. Not a word will he disclose, not a word of all he knows. I must lay him on the shelf, and make up the tale myself. Autumn fires in the other gardens and all up the vale, from the autumn bonfires see the smoke trail. Pleasant summer over and all the summer flowers, the red fire blazes, the grey smoke towers. Sing a song of seasons. Something bright in all. Flowers in the summer, fires in the fall. The gardener does not love to talk, he makes me keep the gravel walk, and when he puts his tools away, he locks the door and takes the key. Away behind the currant row, where no one else but cook may go, far in the plots, I see him dig, old and serious, brown and big. He digs the flowers, green, red, and blue, nor wishes to be spoken to. He digs the flowers and cuts the hay, and never seems to want to play. Silly gardener. Summer goes, and winter comes with pinching toes, when in the garden bare and brown you must lay your barrow down. Well now, and while the summer stays, to profit by these garden days, oh how much wiser you would be to play at Indian wars with me. Historical associations, dear Uncle Jim, this garden ground that now you smoke your pipe around has seen immortal actions done and valiant battles lost and won. Here we had best on tiptoe tread, while I for safety march ahead, for this is that enchanted ground where all who loiter slumber sound. Here is the sea, here is the sand, here is simple shepherd's land, here are the fairy hollyhocks, and there are Ali Baba's rocks. But yonder, see, apart and high, frozen Siberia lies, where I, with Robert Bruce and William Tell, was bound by an enchanter's spell. TNN voice to Willie and Henrietta, if two may read aright these rhymes of old delight and house and garden play, you two, my cousins, and you only, may. You in a garden green with me were king and queen, were hunter, soldier, tar, and all the thousand things that children are. Now in the elder's seat we rest with quiet feet, and from the window bay we watch the children, our successors, play. Time was, the golden head irrevocably said, but time which none can bind, while flowing fast away, leaves love behind. To my mother you too, my mother, read my rhymes for love of unforgotten times, and you may chance to hear once more the little feet along the floor. To Auntie chief of our aunts not only I, but all your dozen of Nazeelings cry, what did the other children do? And what were childhood, wanting you? To Auntie to Minnie the red room with the giant bed where none but elders laid their head, the little room where you and I did for a while together lie, and, simple suitor, I your hand in decent marriage did demand, the great day nursery, best of all, with pictures pasted on the wall and leaves upon the blind, a pleasant room wherein to wake and hear the leafy garden shake and rustle in the wind, and pleasant there to lie in bed and see the pictures overhead, the wars about Sebastopol, the grinning guns along the wall, the daring escalade, the plunging ships, the bleeding sheep, the happy children ankle deep and laughing as they wade, all these are vanished clean away, and the old man's is changed today, it wears an altered face and shields a stranger race. The river, on from mill to mill, flows past our childhood's garden still, but we children never more shall watch it from the water door. Below the yew it still is there, our phantom voices haunt the air as we were still at play, and I can hear them call and say, how far is it to Babylon? Ah, far enough, my dear, far, far enough from here, yet you have farther gone. Can I get there by candlelight? So goes the old refrain. I do not know, perchance you might, but only, children, hear it right, never to return again. The eternal dawn, beyond a doubt, shall break on hill and plain, and put all stars and candles out ere we be young again. To you in distant India, these I send across the seas, nor count it far across. For which of us forgets the Indian cabinets, the bones of antelope, the wings of albatross, the pied and painted birds and beans, the junks and bangles, beads and screens, the gods and sacred bells, and the loud humming, twisting shells. The level of the parlor floor was honest, homely, Scottish shore, but when we climbed upon a chair, behold the gorgeous East was there. Be this a fable, and behold me in the parlor as of old, and many just above me set in the quaint Indian cabinet. Smiling and kind, you grace a shelf too high for me to reach myself. Reach down a hand, my dear, and take these rhymes for old acquaintance' sake. To my name child one some day soon this rhyming volume, if you learn with proper speed, little Louis Sanchez, will be given you to read. Then shall you discover, that your name was printed down by the English printers, long before, in London town. In the great and busy city where the East and West are met, all the little letters did the English printer set, while you thought of nothing, and were still too young to play, foreign people thought of you in places far away. And while you slept, a baby, over all the English lands other little children took the volume in their hands, other children questioned, in their homes across the seas, who was little Louis, won't you tell us, mother, please? To now that you have spelt your lesson, lay it down and go and play, seeking shells and seaweed on the sands of Monterey, watching all the mighty whale bones, lying buried by the breeze, tiny sandpipers, and the huge Pacific seas. And remember in your playing, as the sea fog rolls to you, long ere you could read it, how I told you what to do, and that while you thought of no one, nearly half the world away someone thought of Lewis on the beach of Monterey. To any reader as from the house your mother sees you playing round the garden trees, so you may see, if you will look through the windows of this book, another child, far, far away, and in another garden, play. But do not think you can at all, by knocking on the window, call that child to hear you. He intent is all on his play business bent. He does not hear, he will not look, nor yet be lured out of this book. For, long ago, the truth to say, he has grown up and gone away, and it is but a child of air that lingers in the garden there. The Scribner Illustrated Classics, The Arabian Nights edited by Kate Douglas Wiggin, illustrated by Maxfield Parrish, The Story of Roland by James Baldwin, illustrated by Peter Hurd, The Story of Siegfried by James Baldwin, illustrated by Peter Hurd, Drums by James Boyd, illustrated by N.C. Wyeth, The Little Princess by Francis Hodgson Burnett, illustrated by Ethel Franklin Betts, The Deerslayer by James Fenimore Cooper, illustrated by N.C. Wyeth, The Last of the Mohicans by James Fenimore Cooper. Illustrated by N.C. Wyeth. Robin Hood by Paul Creswick, illustrated by N.C. Wyeth. The Enchanted Book edited by Alice Dalgliesh, illustrated by Conchetta Catchula. Robinson Crusoe by Daniel Defoe, illustrated by N.C. Wyeth. The Children of Dickens by Charles Dickens, edited by Samuel McCord Crothers, illustrated by Jesse Wilcox Smith. Hans Brinker by Mary Mapes Dodge, illustrated by George W. Edwards. Poems of Childhood by Eugene Field, illustrated by Maxfield Parrish. The Little Shepherd of Kingdom Come by John Fox, Jr., illustrated by N.C. Wyeth. Grimm's Fairy Tales, illustrated by Eleanor Abbott. Lone Cowboy by Will James, illustrated by the author. Smokey by Will James, illustrated by the author. Westward Ho! By Charles Kingsley, illustrated by N.C. Wyeth. The Boys King Arthur by Sidney Lanier, illustrated by N.C. Wyeth. The Scottish Chiefs by Jane Porter, illustrated by N.C. Wyeth. The Yearling by Marjorie Kinnan Rawlings, illustrated by N.C. Wyeth. Quentin Durward by Sir Walter Scott, illustrated by C.B. Chambers. The Children's Bible by Henry Sherman and Charles Kent, illustrated by various artists. Heidi by Johanna Spyri, illustrated by Jesse Wilcox Smith. A Child's Garden of Verses by Robert Louis Stevenson, illustrated by Jesse Wilcox Smith. The Black Arrow by Robert Louis Stevenson, illustrated by N.C. Wyeth. David Balfour by Robert Louis Stevenson, illustrated by N.C. Wyeth. Kidnapped by Robert Louis Stevenson, illustrated by N.C. Wyeth. Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson, illustrated by N.C. Wyeth. The Mysterious Island by Jules Verne, illustrated by N.C. Wyeth. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea by Jules Verne, illustrated by W. J. Aylward. Transcribers note these last verses of historical associations, as found in some other editions of this book, were not printed in this edition. They don't appear to be missing scans, as the page numbering remains sequential. There, then, a while in chains we lay, in wintry dungeons, far from day, but risen at length, with might and main, our iron fetters burst in twain. Then all the horns were blown in town, and to the ramparts clanging down, all the giants leaped to horse and charged behind us through the gorse. On we rode, the others and I, over the mountains blue, and by the silver river, the sounding sea, and the robber woods of Tartary. 1,000 miles we galloped fast, and down the witches' lane we passed, and rode amain, with brandished sword, up to the middle, through the ford. Last we drew rein a weary three upon the lawn, in time for tea, and from our steeds alighted down before the gates of Babylon. End of the project. Gutenberg ebook. A Child's Garden of Verses. Updated editions will replace the previous one. The old editions will be renamed. Creating the works from print editions not protected by U.S. copyright law means that no one owns a United States copyright in these works, so the Foundation, and you, can copy and distribute it in the United States without permission and without paying copyright royalties. Special rules. set forth in the general terms of use part of this license, apply to copying and distributing Project Gutenberg trademark electronic works to protect the Project Gutenberg trademark concept and trademark. Project Gutenberg is a registered trademark, and may not be used if you charge for an ebook, except by following the terms of the trademark license, including paying royalties for use of the Project Gutenberg trademark. If you do not charge anything for copies of this ebook, complying with the trademark license is very easy. You may use this ebook for nearly any purpose such as creation of derivative works, reports, performances, and research. Project Gutenberg ebooks may be modified and printed and given away. You may do practically anything in the United States with ebooks not protected by U.S. copyright law. Redistribution is subject to the trademark license, especially commercial redistribution. Start. Full license. The full Project Gutenberg license. Please read this before you distribute or use this work to protect the Project Gutenberg trademark mission of promoting the free distribution of electronic works. By using or distributing this work, or any other work associated in any way with the phrase Project Gutenberg, you agree to comply with all the terms of the full Project Gutenberg trademark license available with this file or online at www.gutenberg.org/license. Section 1. General Terms of Use and Redistributing Project Gutenberg Trademark Electronic Works 1.a. By reading or using any part of this Project Gutenberg trademark electronic work, you indicate that you have read, understand, agree to and accept all the terms of this license and intellectual property, trademark/copyright, agreement. If you do not agree to abide by all the terms of this agreement, you must cease using and return or destroy all copies of Project Gutenberg trademark electronic works in your possession. If you paid a fee for obtaining a copy of or access to a Project Gutenberg trademark electronic work and you do not agree to be bound by the terms of this agreement, you may obtain a refund from the person or entity to whom you paid the fee as set forth in paragraph 1.e.8. 1.b. Project Gutenberg is a registered trademark. It may only be used on or associated in any way with an electronic work by people who agree to be bound by the terms of this agreement. There are a few things that you can do with most Project Gutenberg trademark electronic works even without complying with the full terms of this agreement. See paragraph 1.c below. There are a lot of things you can do with Project Gutenberg trademark electronic works if you follow the terms of this agreement and help preserve free future access to Project Gutenberg trademark electronic works. See paragraph 1.e below. 1.c. The Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation, the Foundation or PGLOF, owns a compilation copyright in the collection of Project Gutenberg trademark electronic works. Nearly all the individual works in the collection are in the public domain in the United States. If an individual work is unprotected by copyright law in the United States and you are located in the United States, we do not claim a right to prevent you from copying, distributing, performing, displaying, or creating derivative works based on the work as long as all references to Project Gutenberg are removed. Of course, we hope that you will support the Project Gutenberg trademark mission of promoting free access to electronic works by freely sharing Project Gutenberg trademark works in compliance with the terms of this agreement for keeping the Project Gutenberg trademark name associated with the work. You can easily comply with the terms of this agreement by keeping this work in the same format with its attached full Project Gutenberg trademark license when you share it without charge with others. 1.d. The copyright laws of the place where you are located also govern what you can do with this work. Copyright laws in most countries are in a constant state of change. If you are outside the United States, check the laws of your country in addition to the terms of this agreement before downloading, copying, displaying, performing, distributing or creating derivative works based on this work or any other Project Gutenberg trademark work. The Foundation makes no representations concerning the copyright status of any work in any country other than the United States. 1.e Unless you have removed all references to Project Gutenberg, 1.e.1. The following sentence, with active links to, or other immediate access to, the full Project Gutenberg trademark license must appear prominently whenever any copy of a Project Gutenberg trademark work, any work on which the phrase Project Gutenberg appears, or with which the phrase Project Gutenberg is associated, is accessed, displayed, performed, viewed, copied or distributed. This ebook is for the use of anyone anywhere in the United States and most other parts of the world at no cost and with almost no restrictions whatsoever. You may copy it, give it away or reuse it under the terms of the Project Gutenberg license included with this ebook or online at www.gutenberg.org. If you are not located in the United States, you will have to check the laws of the country where you are located before using this ebook. 1.e.2. If an individual Project Gutenberg trademark electronic work is derived from texts not protected by U.S. copyright law, does not contain a notice indicating that it is posted with permission of the copyright holder, the work can be copied and distributed to anyone in the United States without paying any fees or charges. If you are redistributing or providing access to a work with the phrase Project Gutenberg associated with or appearing on the work, you must comply either with the requirements of paragraphs 1.e.1 through 1.e.7 or obtain permission for the use of the work and the Project Gutenberg trademark as set forth in paragraphs 1.e.8 or 1.e.9. 1.e.3. If an individual Project Gutenberg trademark electronic work is posted with the permission of the copyright holder, your use and distribution must comply with both paragraphs 1.e.1 through 1.e.7 and any additional terms imposed by the copyright holder. Additional terms will be linked to the Project Gutenberg trademark license for all works posted with the permission of the copyright holder found at the beginning of this work. 1.e.4. Do not unlink or detach or remove the full Project Gutenberg trademark license terms from this work, or any files containing a part of this work or any other work associated with Project Gutenberg trademark. 1.e.5. Do not copy, display, perform, distribute or redistribute this electronic work, or any part of this electronic work, without prominently displaying the sentence set forth in paragraph 1.e.1 with active links or immediate access to the full terms of the Project Gutenberg trademark license. 1.e.6. You may convert to and distribute this work in any binary, compressed, marked up, non-proprietary or proprietary form, including any word processing or hypertext form. However, if you provide access to or distribute copies of a Project Gutenberg trademark work in a format other than plain vanilla ASCII or other format used in the official version posted on the official Project Gutenberg trademark website, www.gutenberg.org, you must, at no additional cost, fee, or expense to the user, provide a copy, a means of exporting a copy, or a means of obtaining a copy upon request, of the work in its original plain vanilla ASCII or other form. Any alternate format must include the full Project Gutenberg trademark license as specified in paragraph 1.e.1. 1.e.7. Do not charge a fee for access to, viewing, displaying, performing, copying or distributing any Project Gutenberg trademark works unless you comply with paragraph 1.e.8 or 1.e.9. 1.e.8. You may charge a reasonable fee for copies of or providing access to or distributing Project Gutenberg trademark electronic works provided that, you pay a royalty fee of 20% of the gross profits you derive from the use of Project Gutenberg trademark works calculated using the method you already use to calculate your applicable taxes. The fee is owed to the owner of the Project Gutenberg trademark, but he has agreed to donate royalties under this paragraph to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation. Royalty payments must be paid within 60 days following each date on which you prepare, or are legally required to prepare, your periodic tax returns. Royalty payments should be clearly marked as such and sent to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation at the address specified in Section 4, Information about donations to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation. You provide a full refund of any money paid by a user who notifies you in writing, or by email, within 30 days of receipt that he does not agree to the terms of the full Project Gutenberg trademark license. You must require such a user to return or destroy all copies of the works possessed in a physical medium and discontinue all use of and all access to other copies of Project Gutenberg trademark works. You provide, in accordance with paragraph 1.f.3, a full refund of any money paid for a work or a replacement copy, if a defect in the electronic work is discovered and reported to you within 90 days of receipt of the work. You comply with all other terms of this agreement for free distribution of Project Gutenberg trademark works. 1.e.9. If you wish to charge a fee or distribute a Project Gutenberg trademark electronic work or group of works on different terms than are set forth in this agreement, you must obtain permission in writing from the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation, the manager of the Project Gutenberg trademark. Contact the Foundation as set forth in Section 3 below. 1.f.1.f.1. Project Gutenberg volunteers and employees expend considerable effort to identify, do copyright research on, transcribe and proofread works not protected by U.S. copyright law in creating the Project Gutenberg trademark collection. Despite these efforts, Project Gutenberg trademark electronic works, and the medium on which they may be stored, may contain defects, such as, but not limited to, incomplete, inaccurate or corrupt data, transcription errors, a copyright or other intellectual property infringement, a defective or damaged disk or other medium, a computer virus, or computer codes that damage or cannot be read by your equipment. 1.f.2. Limited warranty, disclaimer of damages, except for the right of replacement or refund described in paragraph 1.f.3, the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation, the owner of the Project Gutenberg trademark, and any other party distributing a Project Gutenberg trademark electronic work under this agreement, disclaim all liability to you for damages, costs, and expenses, including legal fees. You agree that you have no remedies for negligence, strict liability, breach of warranty or breach of contract except those provided in paragraph 1.f.3. You agree that the Foundation, the trademark owner, and any distributor under this agreement will not be liable to you for actual, direct, indirect, consequential, punitive, or incidental damages even if you give notice of the possibility of such damage. 1.f.3. Limited right of replacement or refund. If you discover a defect in this electronic work within 90 days of receiving it, you can receive a refund of the money, if any, you paid for it by sending a written explanation to the person you received the work from. If you received the work on a physical medium, you must return the medium with your written explanation. The person or entity that provided you with the defective work may elect to provide a replacement copy in lieu of a refund. If you received the work electronically, the person or entity providing it to you may choose to give you a second opportunity to receive the work electronically in lieu of a refund. If the second copy is also defective, you may demand a refund in writing without further opportunities to fix the problem. 1.f.4. Except for the limited right of replacement or refund set forth in paragraph 1.f.3, this work is provided to you as is, with no other warranties of any kind, express or implied, including but not limited to warranties of merchantability or fitness for any purpose. 1.f.5. Some states do not allow disclaimers of certain implied warranties or the exclusion or limitation of certain types of damages. If any disclaimer or limitation set forth in this agreement violates the law of the state applicable to this agreement, the agreement shall be interpreted to make the maximum disclaimer or limitation permitted by the applicable state law. The invalidity or unenforceability of any provision of this agreement shall not void the remaining provisions. 1.f.6. Indemnity. You agree to indemnify and hold the foundation, the trademark owner, any agent or employee of the foundation, anyone providing copies of Project Gutenberg trademark electronic works in accordance with this agreement, and any volunteers associated with the production, promotion, and distribution of Project Gutenberg trademark electronic works, harmless from all liability, costs, and expenses, including legal fees, that arise directly or indirectly from any of the following which you do or cause to occur. A. Distribution of this or any Project Gutenberg trademark work. B. Alteration, modification, or additions or deletions to any Project Gutenberg trademark work, and C. Any defect you cause. Section 2. Information about the mission of Project Gutenberg trademark. Project Gutenberg trademark is synonymous with the free distribution of electronic works in formats readable by the widest variety of computers, including obsolete, old, middle-aged, and new computers. It exists because of the efforts of hundreds of volunteers and donations from people in all walks of life. Volunteers and financial support to provide volunteers with the assistance they need are critical to reaching Project Gutenberg trademark's goals and ensuring that the Project Gutenberg trademark collection will remain freely available for generations to come. In 2001, the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation was created to provide a secure and permanent future for Project Gutenberg trademark and future generations. To learn more about the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation and how your efforts and donations can help, see sections 3 and 4 and the Foundation information page at www.gutenberg.org. Section 3. Information about the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation. The Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation is a non-profit 501(c)(3) educational corporation organized under the laws of the state of Mississippi and granted tax-exempt status by the Internal Revenue Service. The Foundation's IN or federal tax identification number is 64-6221541. Contributions to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation are tax-deductible to the full extent permitted by U.S. federal laws and your state's laws. The Foundation's business office is located at 809 North 1500 West, Salt Lake City, Utah 841-16808-596-1887. Email contact links and up-to-date contact information can be found at the Foundation's website and official page at www.gutenberg.org/contact. Section 4. Information about donations to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation. Project Gutenberg trademark depends upon and cannot survive without widespread public support and donations to carry out its mission of increasing the number of public domain and licensed works that can be freely distributed in machine-readable form accessible by the widest array of equipment, including outdated equipment. Many small donations, $1 to $5,000, are particularly important to maintaining tax-exempt status with the IRS. The Foundation is committed to complying with the laws regulating charities and charitable donations in all 50 states of the United States. Compliance requirements are not uniform and it takes a considerable effort, much paperwork, and many fees to meet and keep up with these requirements. We do not solicit donations in locations where we have not received written confirmation of compliance. To send donations or determine the status of compliance for any particular state, visit www.gutenberg.org/donate. While we cannot and do not solicit contributions from states where we have not met the solicitation requirements, we know of no prohibition against accepting unsolicited donations from donors in such states who approach us with offers to donate. International donations are gratefully accepted, but we cannot make any statements concerning tax treatment of donations received from outside the United States. U.S. laws alone swamp our small staff. Please check the Project Gutenberg web pages for current donation methods and addresses. Donations are accepted in a number of other ways, including checks, online payments, and credit card donations. To donate, please visit www.gutenberg.org/donate. Section 5. General information about Project Gutenberg trademark electronic works. Professor Michael S. Hart was the originator of the Project Gutenberg trademark concept of a library of electronic works that could be freely shared with anyone. For 40 years, he produced and distributed Project Gutenberg trademark ebooks with only a loose network of volunteer support. Project Gutenberg trademark ebooks are often created from several printed editions, all of which are confirmed as not protected by copyright in the U.S. unless a copyright notice is included. Thus, we do not necessarily keep ebooks in compliance with any particular paper edition. Most people start at our website, which has the main PG search facility, www.gutenberg.org. This website includes information about Project Gutenberg trademark, including how to make donations to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation, how to help produce our new ebooks, and how to subscribe to our email newsletter to hear about new ebooks. Back. 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 There are several editions of this ebook in the Project Gutenberg collection. Various characteristics of each ebook are listed to aid in selecting the preferred file. Click on any of the file numbers below to quickly view each ebook. A Child's Garden of Verses. Robert Louis Stevenson. Jesse Wilcox Smith to Allison Cunningham. A Child's Garden of Verses. Robert Louis Stevenson with illustrations by Jesse Wilcox Smith. Contents: illustrations. A Child's Garden of Verses. Bed in summer. A thought at the seaside. Young night thought. Whole duty of children. Rain. Pirate story. Foreign lands. Windy nights. Travel. Singing. Looking forward. A good play. Where go the boats? Auntie's skirts. The land of counterpane. The land of nod. My shadow system. A good boy. Escape at bedtime. Marching song. The cow. Happy thought. The wind. Keepsake. Mill. Good and bad children. Foreign children. The sun travels. The lamp lighter. My bed is a boat. The moon. The swing. Time to rise. Looking glass. River. Ferry. Bread from a railway carriage. Winter time. The hayloft. Farewell to the farm. Northwest passage. The child alone. The unseen playmate. My ship and I. My kingdom. Picture books in winter. My treasures. Block City. The land of storybooks. Armies in the fire. The little land garden. Days. Night and day. Nest eggs. The flowers. Summer sun. The dumb soldier. Autumn fires. The gardener. Historical associations. Envoys to Willie and Henrietta. To my mother. To auntie. To Minnie. To my name child. To any reader. The Scribner. Illustrated classics. The full Project Gutenberg license. PG-7, PG-9, PG-X, PG-11, PG-12, PG-13, PG-15, PG-16, PG-1, PG-2, PG-3, PG-4, PG-5, PG-6, PG-7, PG-8, PG-9, PG-10. PG-11, PG-13, PG-14, PG-15, PG-16, PG-17, PG-18, PG-19, PG-20, PG-21, PG-23, PG-24, PG-25, PG-26, PG-27, PG-28, PG-29, PG-30, PG-32, PG-34, PG-35, PG-37, PG-38, PG-40, PG-41, PG-42, PG-43, PG45 PG46 PG47 PG48 PG49 PG50 PG51 PG55 PG57 PG60 PG62 PG64 PG65 PG66 PG68 PG70 PG72 PG74 PG76 PG77 PG78 PG80 PG79 PG83 PG85 PG86 PG87 PG88 PG90 PG91 PG93 PG95 PG96 PG99 PG100 PG 104 PG 105